don't know what will be in there. I don't know what will be changed, but this is a good forum to begin to talk about what we need to see so that it works for California, because it is true. When I went to school here in public schools in Anaheim, I probably went to the number 3 elementary school in the state at that time, in a state that was number 1 with respect to education, the envy of the nation and the world. And of course today, depending on what list you look at, California is 46th, 47th, 48th, 50th. I'm not really sure today what list it falls on, but it's in the bottom 5. And that elementary school is in a very low-performing district in the state of California. It's very sad to see what has happened with respect to the education happening for children going to the same schools that I went to in Anaheim. So we've actually put a lot of money into the system. I have a list here. Certainly don't want to take too much time, but Title I grants for low-income children, we spent $14.5 billion sent down. School improvement, $545 million for assistance to approximately 13,000 schools across the country with chronically poor academic performance. After school centers, $1.2 billion for tutoring, mentoring, enrichment. Teacher incentive funds, $400 million to support school districts and states that aim to reward effective teaching through compensation systems that reward entire high-need schools for raising students' achievement. Charter schools, $256 million to support over 1,300 new charter schools. Striving Readers Program, $250 million. High School Graduation Initiative, $50 million for a new high school graduation initiative to target assistance to high schools that disproportionately contribute to the nation's dropout rate. Individuals with Disability Education Act, $11.5 billion. New from the federal government, adult education, $628 million for adult basic literacy, English as a second language, other issues of that type. And then we get to the real involvement that we have traditionally had, and that is the whole issue of universities or higher education. There you will see a lot more involvement by the federal government. Why? Because we believe the community colleges are the gems of our community. We believe that that is where students get a second chance, where new students, returning students, students coming back at 50 or 60 who want to get reading skills, get math skills, learn new, get new skills can. And we want to do it in the least expensive way for them, and we believe we get a very big bang for the buck at the community colleges. We believe in the universities. When we look at the competitiveness of the United States, and I sit on a committee called the Joint Economic Committee, 10 members of the Senate and 10 members of the House. We sit together and try to chart for the future what our competitiveness is, economically speaking, in the world. And we understand that one of the most important pieces to invest in is basic research. And basic research happens at our universities, like UC Irvine that we have here. And so you'll see a lot of basic science monies, for example, going into our universities from the federal government. You'll see it from the science funds, you'll see it from the education funds, but you will also see it sitting on the military committee, I'll tell you. You will see it coming from the Defense Department. More money is given to basic research out of defense funds than any place else in our budget at the university level. And there's a reason why. Because we can get a lot of votes for the defense budget. We can't get so many for a higher education budget, believe it or not. So lots of money invested that way. We have put in lots of money to help students, especially came here to Chapman University, my Pell Grant was $1,700 a year. This year, for a student who comes here, it will be $5,500 a year. We have increased it just in the last 2 or 3 years significantly, and we aim to continue to increase it. Student loans. Very historic vote on health care just this past weekend, but I'm going to tell you something. Included in that, which most people didn't speak about, was the fact that we had an education component in there where we are going to change the way we do student loans because so many students have to borrow now to go to the universities, and it will be less expensive and to borrow for a student now.